YouTube? It's your boy Craig Zilla coming at you with another piano tutorial. Today I'm breaking down Optimistic by Sounds of Blackness. Before we get started, there's going to be a link in the description to a video of me just playing through the whole song so you can see how everything fits together. And without further ado, let's get into it. The song starts off with this intro. Okay, so first I'll talk about kind of what I would do if I needed to hold down the bass in my left hand, which is kind of what you just saw there in the demonstration. And then I'll talk about kind of what I would do if I was playing with a bass player and I didn't need to play bass in my left hand, right? So first things first, it starts off with this B major 7 in the right hand, right? To B flat minor 7. And the rhythm of that, it would be like 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So the B major 7 comes in on the 2, 1, 2, and then we hit it again on the and of 3. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The B flat minor 7 we just hold for the 4 beats, right? Meanwhile, in your left hand, the first time around, the bass is kind of just 1, 2, 1. It's kind of just pedaling on this E flat down here. So 1, 2, right? Kind of comes in after your B major 7. 1, 2. Right? 1. You do that 3 times. Then this walk up happens. Okay, so that walk up is going to be A flat minor 7. G flat over B flat, but we've also got this A flat here, so I'll maybe call it G flat 2 over B flat. Then A flat over C, right? A flat major with C in the bass. Then we're gonna change this A flat to a B flat up here, and then land on B over C sharp, right? So. Okay, so that's like the first pass of the intro. Now on the second pass, it's pretty similar to the first pass, except now our bass is doing something different, right? So chords in your right hand will still be the same, but instead of pedaling on that E flat, boom, now we're doing 1, 2, 3, 4. We're kind of going back and forth between F sharp and E flat. And it starts on the 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's kind of the groove. And we'll use this groove again during the verses too. So get kind of comfortable with it, right? So the rhythm of like how the chords line up with it is kind of interesting. You'll hit your E major 7 on a second time, you get to this E flat in the bass. So right? And you'll hit it again when you get to that E flat on like the final time, right? It's kind of tricky. Okay, so take your time, maybe start slow with it. And then once you get it down, bring it up to speed. But then after that, we do another walk up, right? So it's kind of the same, except right here, right? There's a few extra chords at the end, right? So you'll start again on that A flat minor 7, G flat 2 over B flat, A flat C, A flat over C, right? This is the same as before. B over C sharp. Now is when it kind of, we extend the walk up a little bit. And I'm doing this, right, so the bass will go D, B flat, F to get to this E flat minor, right? And the chord, the harmony here is like a diminished chord, right? But there's also this melody. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of playing as much of the diminished chord as I can here while still being able to do that melody there. So the melody is F, E flat, C sharp, right? And then we land on E flat minor 7, hit this A flat up here, and then land on an A flat minor 7. So that whole thing, right? Okay, so that's the intro. Oh, and that A flat gets held for a bit, right? So let's say 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll start the verse. Now that's kind of how I would do it if I needed to hold down the bass in the left hand. If I just needed to worry about the chords, I would just do it like this. I would kind of just play the chords like this. And then for the walk up, right? So I'm just playing a B major 7 to a B flat minor 7, except now I'm using my left hand to kind of play these two notes just so that, you know, you're using both your hands, right? Sometimes people don't like to see you just sitting there with one hand in your pocket while you're playing. So, you know, you want to look busy, right? But there's really not much else going on, you know. So I was trying to, you know, listen for what else could you do with two hands? Kind of just that one chord thing, right? So I would say this is probably what I would do. If I had a bass player, I would just be right here with it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, for those two chords. Then for the walk up, I'm kind of doing the same thing here, A flat minor 7, but I think I would bring my left hand up an octave and just kind of play the roots to the chords. For this chord, I would play C and A flat in my left hand. Right. For this one, probably the root, the 5th, in my left hand. Now, for that, and that would be it for that first walk up. But then on the second walk up, right, that's how I would do it with the, you know, two-handed chords. I would hold a D diminished 7 in my left hand and do that melody with my right hand, right? Then E flat minor 7. I'm just playing F sharp in my right hand, and I've got the minor 7 chord in my left hand, right? landing on that A flat minor 7, playing it like this. So. Okay, so that's the intro. Now the intro, after the intro, we'll go into the first verse, which is pretty similar, but I'll demonstrate it here and then break it down. Okay, so like I said, the verse very similar to the intro. Really the only difference is that on the first half that the bass is a little different. At the end, the walk up is slightly different, I guess. So I'll just kind of talk about, I guess, that difference in the left hand. Chords are still the same pretty much. So the bass comes in those little spaces on the 1. Like I said, that B major 7 comes in on the 2. The bass will play in that little space where there's no chord. So right. This walk up is exactly the same. Right, so on that first little space, it's an octave thing. E flat to the high E flat to the low E flat. So on our second little space, it's going back and forth between F sharp and E flat. Start on the F sharp. That's it for the second little space. And then on the third little space, E flat, F sharp twice, and then E flat. So, right, so see what I mean? Like I said, that walk up's the same. Now the second half of the verse, so that'd be the first half of the verse. The second half of the verse, the bass does pretty much exactly what it was doing on the second half of the intro, right? It's so 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the same. Now here comes the difference. And we stop it there. We don't do that like diminished chord thing. We don't extend the walk up like we would during the intro. The intro basically has like an extended walk up. Normally for the rest of the song, the walk up will end right here for the verses. Both times around, right? So that's really the only difference. Yeah, so if I was doing this, you know, if I had a bass player, you're basically doing the same thing from the intro. The only difference is you just end that walk up right there, you know, both times. That's it. So, but the chords are still the same, right? Same voicings. I would use all the same voicings and everything for the two-handed chords, right? So, that's the verse. After the first verse, it goes into like a pre-chorus that leads into the chorus. So I'll demonstrate now like the pre-chorus and the chorus together, and then I'll break them down separately after that. So, yeah. pre-chorus. Let's start there. The chords are going to be this B major 13, right? It's like a B major 9. We've got this A flat here, right? E flat, D flat, E flat, and A flat with B in the bass. And that goes to, well, you just change your bass to E flat, and now it's an E flat 7 sus 4. My chord stays exactly the same. So go back to the B, and then we'll do this like A flat minor 7, make it a minor 9, hit this F sharp, because we've got this melody on top of the chord, right? So our next chord is going to be this E major 7, right? Then hit this F sharp, and we've got E flat minor 9, but we're kind of playing this melody on top of the chord, right? So I'm playing the chord and then doing it like that and then like that. So, and then the last chord is going to be A flat minor 7. So the rhythm of those first couple of chords, the B major comes in on the 1, right? The E flat is pushed, and then we push when we go back to that B chord. So so that's how long you would hold that A flat minor 7 at the end too. It's kind of holds it for kind of what feels like a while, but anyways. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you hold it for like 6 beats, right? Before you go into the chorus. So that's how I would do that pre-chorus with left hand in the bass, right? So if I didn't have to worry about that, I would come up here and play it probably. I would do it like that. I would keep my left hand kind of, right hand pretty much the same, right? But left hand just maybe a little bit higher up on the keyboard. All right? For the A flat minor with the melody there, A flat and an F sharp in my left hand, and then for the E major 7 I got octaves here in the left hand. For the E flat minor, left hand just doing E flats, and then for the A flat minor 7 at the end, same deal, A flat, F sharp in the left hand. B major triad up here. Yeah. That's how I would do it for the two-handed chords, you know. So then, anyways, that leads into the chorus. The chorus is like a walk-up that starts on that G flat 2 over B flat, right? So you'll do that chord, that G flat 2 over B flat, to the A flat over C. Hit this E flat if you want, right? And then kind of the same thing from that pre-chorus where we did that melody over the A flat, except now we've got C sharp in the bass. Right? So it's like a B major triad, B major chord that change the B up here to a B flat, and then hit the F sharp like that. So that goes into a D diminished 7 chord, right? Hit this F sharp by itself, and then another kind of E flat minor 9 that has that melody on top. That leads you to this A flat minor 7. So that's the chords for the chorus. And it's kind of interesting. You can play the bass like, you know, down here. And then you could even go low for that C sharp. It sounds like there's like a, you know, 5-string bass or something on the record. So it gets pretty low. You could go down for that C sharp, or you could keep going up. It's kind of whatever you want to do. Okay, I'm really just holding down. I'm just playing the root notes there in my left hand. And I'll say, you know, on the record, the actual bass player is like ripping. He's doing all kinds of licks and runs and stuff like that. You know, what I would do if I had to hold down the bass, I would just play the root notes, because things can get kind of crazy if I'm trying to do exactly what the bass player is doing on the record, right? For everything. So I'm just really just holding down the root notes in my left hand there. Now, if I didn't have to worry about the bass, I would play it up here like this. Basically just kind of up a register. I'm really am still just playing the root notes here. Right? Similar voicings that I was using earlier for those chords. So yeah, so that's the chorus. So let's say we're coming out of that pre-chorus, right? So I'll start kind of 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, right? 4, 1, 2, 3. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that melody, there's like a melody that leads you into that first chord that kind of starts on the 3, I guess, of the previous bar. So 4, 1, 2, 3, right? So that's something to think about too. I don't know if I mentioned that little lead up melody. But yeah, so anyways, that's the chorus. That happens three times, I think, that waka. And then you get back into the verse, the second verse. So yeah, that's the pre-chorus and the chorus. I do want to talk just a little bit about the second verse. I'll demonstrate it really quick and then I'll break it down. Okay, so the second verse virtually identical to the first verse. Really, the only difference is on that first half of the verse where the bass is kind of minimal. It's slightly different. So it'll happen. It'll be again during that little space between the chords. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That little space, right? There's little things that happen, right? So actually on the first little space, there's nothing in the bass. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, and then it's right. That's the only difference. That's all you gotta do. And then it's back to normal for the second half. Right? So, yeah, the only thing you have to worry about is that whatever on the first half. So, the first space, like I said, there's nothing. And then in the other two spaces, it's just F sharp to E flat before you play the chord. Right? So, that's it. You don't even really have to worry about it if you're not doing the bass in your left hand. But I just wanted to mention it, something I noticed. So, okay, that's the second verse. After the second verse, we go into the second pre-chorus, which leads into the final chorus. The chorus kind of repeats to the end of the song. So I'll demonstrate that really quick and then talk about it. Okay, so the second pre-chorus, let's talk about that a little bit. It's very similar to the first pre-chorus, only there's a certain kind of section that repeats. The rhythm is slightly different. I'll talk about that here. So the chords are pretty much all the same, right? Except here. So when we get to this A flat minor 7 chord, what I'm doing, I'm holding my sustain pedal. This melody's slightly different on the first pass. Before it was, now it's, right, so I'm holding that A flat minor 7, holding my sustain pedal, hitting F sharp and B flat to do that melody, and then landing on E major 7. Another thing is those first 2 chords, right? Before we pushed the B as well, when we went back to the B, we pushed it. Now that it's just on the downbeat, so we're just only pushing that E flat. So 2, push, downbeat here, right? And then that alternate melody. And then we go back to this, only pushing the E flat. We do the same melody as before. Right, so that's the second pre-chorus. If I didn't have to worry about the bass, I would probably do it like up here. And that chorus, you can just play the same thing from the previous chorus. Like I said, it just repeats till the end of the song, right? That progression just keeps going. So, yeah, that's the only difference really, is that second pre-chorus, the certain little section repeats. There's kind of an alternate melody. Only the E flat gets pushed, whereas before we also pushed the B when we went back to the B. But yeah, okay, so hopefully all that makes sense. That's all the different sections of the song. Like I said, if you want to check out the playthrough video in the description, I have a link to it. And that'll just be me doing the kind of just the chords. I'll have the bass and the backing track and everything, so I'll just be doing the chords there. But yeah, so yeah, hopefully that helps you out. If so, please like, subscribe. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, or requests, feel free to leave a comment. Let me know what you're thinking. And that's it for this one. Until next time.